Where do you start?
First of all, I think that Howard is the most worthy person to win this award.
He has an unwavering dedication to the BC wine grape industry.
What an incredibly humble, generous, knowledgeable person he is.
He just has a brilliant way of violating the handbook, but never gets called on it. Howard used to MC every Christmas party. And when Red Rooster started joining us at our Christmas parties the first year, Howard is the MC, he welcomed all the Red Rooster group. And as soon as they were introduced, everybody just started to hoot and holler and cheer. And you know, Howard, in his very classic, just straightforward, you know, normal sense of humor, he says, hey, he goes, try to keep your cock under control. But I don't think Howard's actually hosted or MC'd a Christmas party ever since then.
Howard has a wonderful way of explaining the difference between a blended wine and a hybrid grape, or a blended grape. And he decided to talk about the Sovereign Opal and how it's two grapes that came together. It is the mum grape, and he would use the gestures as well, not just telling the story. The mum grape and the dad grape, they loved each other a lot, and they got together and they had sex and had a baby grape, and that baby is Sovereign.
He did an artist series Merlot that actually ended up in Hollywood. It ended up in the Vancouver Sun front page, and we served it to Robert Redford, David Foster, and a whole bunch of people. And I don't think Howard actually believed that, but that really boosted his confidence.
I'd heard, you know, so many great things about Howard, and he was amazing. He was so open and willing to teach, and you know, I said, you know, I don't have a lot of time in the vineyard. I really like to learn that aspect. And he was like, okay, Gewurz is yours. That's your vineyard. Figure it out, and come ask me questions. And it was like, are you kidding me? Like, you're just gonna trust me to do whatever I want there? Yep. Tell me about it at the end of the week.
Well, I approached Howard to help me study for the Master of Wine because in my mind, and I know this even more now, he's the real understated icon of our industry. He's got so many decades of experience. And I remember I brought an old exam for him, and it has the questions, and to me at the time the questions looked incredibly intimidating, very specific about winemaking, about sulfur use, oxygen, all of these things. And I showed it to Howard, and he just smiled and he said, those look really interesting. And I knew from that point on we were going to have a great time together studying.
Howard has a way of just making wine accessible to everyone. I think it's making it, being humble about it. Everything I've learned about winemaking, I think I owe to Howard.
We brought a winemaker up from California called Bill Dyer to work with Howard and mentor him, and I actually thought that was going to be the end of Howard's career. I thought it was going to insult him, and Howard took that with such grace and such honor, and to work with Bill Dyer, and that transformed him into whole other era of winemaking. And today I would say that Howard is the most influential winemaker and also educator of wine in general. He's got a way about him that is uncanny. He makes wine unpretentious, he makes it fun to drink, and he's the first guy that'll say, did you like the wine that I made? And if you don't, that's all right too.
So where do you think Howard would be without the support of Wendy at his side?
On the side of a ditch.
Upside down in his truck?
Perhaps. I've never met anyone that has as many problems as Howard driving and staying away.
She's the rock wall to how he's been able to be so successful over the years and help raise the family and drive him everywhere and support him on all his trips and his time away. And
absolutely, it's great to see them actually traveling and doing that together now.
Yeah. She's half of his success, half him and half her.
Cheers to you, Howard.
Howard, thank you for making me a success, because that was because of you. Cheers.
Cheers, Howard.
From your angels.